We're definitely hearing a lot of concern about what's happening in Washington and what that's going to mean and what it's already meaning here in California for individuals, for our universities, for our businesses. And so I think people respect the fact that I came into politics to stand up to Donald Trump. I ran for office for the first time after his election in 2016 and took him on in Congress. So I think there's a lot of concern, including from people in both political parties, Republican or Democrat, about what do his actions mean for California. And we need a governor who's going to be smart and tough, who's going to have the resilience and the strength to figure out how we're going to keep important services and our important values thriving during the Trump presidency, as well as tackling our long-standing homegrown challenges, including, most importantly, housing affordability, which I would say is an area where San Diego and Mayor Gloria, I think, are doing some really impressive things.
Boy. So we got to talk about an epic meltdown that happened during this interview between CBS News California, Sacramento, and Katie Porter, who is a Democrat candidate for governor, who also is currently a representative in Congress for a district out in Southern California. And she is the leading contender to become the next governor of California after Kamala Harris decided that she's not going to run, right? Her political career is over. Okay. And Katie Porter here, who claims that she is going to need to be tough. She's going to need to have resiliency in order to take on Trump. Apparently can't even take on this softball interview because she is going to rage quit in the middle of this interview. An interview that, by the way, was done to all of the candidates for governor of California. So this reporter asked the same questions of all the candidates, right? And for whatever reason, Katie Porter thought that this question was out of bounds, so out of bounds that she appears to have rage quit the interview. She says that, hey, I'm done. I don't want to do this interview with you because you are asking me questions I don't like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
argumentative. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Wow. Yeah, this is a Democrat. She's certainly a Democrat because this is the perfect encapsulation of Democrat Party entitlement, right? Entitlement. She's entitled. What she really believes is that she does not need Trump supporters to win, right? She believes that, hey, screw those guys, right? If I don't get their vote, screw them, F them. That's what she actually believes. And she got annoyed because she knows that her true feelings or expressing her true feelings during this interview probably is not a good soundbite for her, right? It's not good for her to come out here and openly say, yeah, I don't really think I need those people in order to win, right? But, I mean, the simple answer to the question is that, yeah, we try to get everybody's vote, right? And we want to convince Trump supporters that our policies are better. That's the simple answer to the question. I don't understand what was so complicated about it. It was very simple. Do you think that you need 40% of the electorate in order to win? Do you think that you need people who normally don't agree with you? Do you think you need those people in order to win an election, whether that be a primary or a general election? Regardless, it's an easy answer to the question. The answer to the question is we want everybody's vote, right? But apparently not for Katie Porter, right? Apparently Katie Porter does not appreciate follow-ups, right? Following up on an answer that she is refusing to give, right? She doesn't like that for whatever reason. But it shows you how frail the Democrats are, right? When they're not doing softball interviews on MSNBC, they crumble, right? They crumble just under a little bit of pushback, right? They used to go on MSDNC and just go on and on and on and on and on. Never any real pushback. But again, this softball interview as well, too. Again, you know these networks, they're very friendly towards Democrats, right? This woman didn't ask a hard question. She just asked a follow-up. And this woman is cracked, right? She's broken down from just a simple follow-up question. But she wants to be governor.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And we're
Porter,
just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions. So what do you say to...
Wow. Shout out to this woman, right? Shout out to this journalist, okay? She basically says, listen, you're not getting special treatment. We ask everybody the same question. And it's not a hard question. Like, I don't understand what's the problem with the question. What is your message to 40% of Trump voters that you're Trump deranged, right? Now, all you want to do is to stand up to the president's agenda. I don't think that that's necessarily a super tough question for a Democrat to answer, but apparently she believes that she should just be allowed to answer questions in an interview, and there should be no pushback, right? There should be no follow-up question or any digging deeper on some of the things she's saying, no clarification, nothing like that, right? You just ask the questions, let her answer the questions, and, there's no need to have a deeper conversation or to help the audience really understand where she's at. She feels as if, again, she's entitled, right? That, hey, I'm the leading person in this race, right? I am me, right? This is what she said, really. Do an interview. That's probably what she feels. I'm me, right? I'm a big deal, right? In multiple ways. She's a big deal, okay? And because she's a big deal, you can't ask her any follow-up questions, right? You can't really dig deep into what she believes, okay? It's stuff like this, man. I mean, I would never vote for somebody like this to lead me, right? This woman could lead me nowhere, right? She could never lead me anywhere. I would trust this woman to run a taco stand, okay? I mean, this attitude is nasty, right? Nasty attitude. Which, by the way, unsurprisingly, she has a history of domestic abuse, right? Apparently, her husband has accused her of scalding the ex-husband's scalp with potatoes, right? So, apparently, burning her husband's scalp with potatoes, right? That's how unhinged this woman is in her personal life, her private life, which kind of explains what we saw in that clip. So let's read here. The former husband of Representative Katie Porter said the California Democrat frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight, according to divorce records. Matthew Hoffman, who filed for divorce from Porter in 2013, said in a request for a restraining order dated April 30th of that year that he was, quote, routinely called an effing idiot and effing incompetent by his rage-prone spouse, who also shattered a glass coffee pot on their kitchen counter in March 2012 when she felt their house wasn't clean enough. Yeah, this woman is a full-blown psycho, right? Apparently, she's a psycho. Quote, she would not let me have a cell phone because she said, you're too effing dumb to operate it. Hoffman said a Porter, 49, who has also been accused of ridiculing former members of her staff. Quote, when she gets angry, she will claw and scratch her arms and then say to look what you made me do. Hoffman also said in the records first obtained by dailymail.com, quote, she regularly says that I am a bad parent in front of the kids. Recently, the children began spitting at me and throwing their food at me, calling me bad daddy. Wow. Yeah, this is who is the leading candidate, right? This is the leading candidate for California governor. Californians, you deserve this, right? If you vote for this, you deserve it. In 2006, Hoffman said Porter took issue with how Hoffman was preparing mashed potatoes for dinner, asking him, quote, can't you read the effing instructions? Then her ex-husband said Porter raised a, quote, ceramic bowl of steaming hot potatoes and dumped it on my head, burning my scalp. In response to Hoffman's allegations, Porter, then a professor of bankruptcy law at the University of California, Irvine in Orange County, claimed in her own request for a restraining order that her ex-husband ordered her out of the house on April 24th, 2013, and called her a dumb bitch, a despicable person, and effing evil, before adding that she should rot in hell. According to Porter, Hoffman then raged at the couple's son, Luke, telling the child, quote, you have taken a bad situation and made it 1,000 times worse. Hoffman also allegedly punched a bathroom light switch until it shattered and threw a newspaper at her. Yeah, so, it seems as if this woman may or may not have anger management issues. And her last relationship was a total train wreck. I feel bad for the kids. But, you saw her temperament during an interview, right? This is Democrat Party leadership. Again, it's the entitlement that really gets me. Okay, you're not special just because you are a rep. That doesn't mean that you're entitled to softball interviews, just like you're not entitled to people's votes. But she apparently believes that she's entitled to all the Democrat votes and that she doesn't need any Trump supporter votes in order to win a primary or to win a general election. So again, we're going to see about that, right? But this is how she really feels, okay? When these politicians show you how they really feel, believe them. And she's showing you how most Democrats feel about Trump voters. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.